This is Omar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. Almost feels weird, a little bit weird doing a Zoom. How are you, Gareth?
I'm very well. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to go back to having a tequila and a cigarette tonight, if that's all right.
Like you did during the COVID.
Cheers. Exactly. But since we're celebrating a fight from long ago on tonight's broadcast, thought I'd have a cheeky little tequila and a cigarette, if that's all right with you.
You do what you want, Gareth. Tell me about these reports with Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Is it going to happen, in your opinion?
Yes, I think the fight is signed, in my sources tell me. I don't know the date, but I'm hearing on the rumour mill October the 8th, which makes sense to sell this. I think it could even be even earlier. It's a great fight. It's a great fight for Conor Benn. It's a great fight for Chris Eubank. Obviously, Chris Eubank wasn't getting the fights he wanted necessarily lining up with Sky and Boxer, and he's gone to DAZN. Sauerlands have taken him there. He's obviously promoted by them. It's a great move by DAZN, especially in the face of the Voltfass, with them not getting the Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua fight, which has gone to Sky. And I hear Eddie Hearn has finally made some comments about it, although they're quite vanilla at the moment. He's not explaining the ins and outs, and he said it's not down to him. But it's a real good counterpunch from DAZN, because I think it's a fight that really does numbers. Conor Benn against Chris Eubank Jr. whetted the appetite as soon as it was mentioned, maybe about 6-8 months ago, wasn't it? But I think they've looked at it and they've thought, you know what, we can make this fight, and it works. And it really does sell, Omar. This is my first tequila, by the way.
Why do you think when they were asked over the weekend, I'm talking about Eddie and Conor specifically, they completely categorically said, no, this fight's not happening? Why do you think they were in that mood towards this fight?
Well, I think there are still things to iron out. They've got to iron out what weight it's going to be made at. I'm hearing it's going to be made around 155, 156. So Conor Benn is probably not going to have to lose much at all, but Chris Eubank is. But at the end of the day, Chris Eubank's a massive favourite in this fight, in spite of the fact he's got to lose some weight. And also, I imagine there'll be a rehydration clause, Umar, because otherwise we don't want a guy, 18, 20 pounds heavier than the other guy. But it's a massive fight for lots of different reasons. And in my view, even though there's a lot of jeopardy there over the name, of course, Chris Eubank having a draw and a win over Nigel Benn back in 1990 and 1993 at middleweight and super middleweight. Big family stuff on the line here. Blood on the line. It's for legacy. So it's a fantastic fight. And in my view, Conor Benn can lose this fight. And as long as he doesn't have a really horrific fight, he can go back down to welterweight with his welterweight aspirations intact. And hey, if it's a great fight, maybe they'll do it twice. And also, it's a brilliant stylistic matchup. Eubank likes to counterpunch, Conor Benn comes forward. I love it. I love this fight. And I love the fact the old men will get involved.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. That'll be part of the promotion. Gareth, do you think the logic in making this fight wasn't only just because it's going to bring huge subscribers to DAZN? Both fighters will earn huge purses. It captures the casuals as well as the hardcores. Do you also think the fact that it's been a difficult process for Matchroom to secure an opponent for Conor Benn, as most of the welterweight division is with PBC, the big names, and we know the relationship there with Eddie and PBC. So do you think they were probably trying to get a welterweight for Conor, a good big name, but it was a bit difficult to, so they made this fight?
Yeah, and he's not ready for that top six yet, in my view, in the welterweight division. Terence Crawford, Errol Spence, they're getting lined up at the moment. Yaron Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. Maybe he's ready for the Danny Garcias, the Keith Thurmans of this world. But there's a lot of guys up there that he shouldn't go in against at the moment because he's not experienced enough. And he's got a real test here at home against a massive name. That is a huge fight in the UK. And like I say, we'll get subs. He'll get subs for DAZN. And it's a fight that makes sense. It's a fight that, why not do it? Just do it. We thought, maybe in a year or two's time, when it was first posited with the two men, they were both like, Conor was like, yeah, Conor's like, yeah, I'll fight anyone. I'll fight him. And Chris Eubank Jr. was saying, no, I'm not so sure at the moment. But the money is probably right. It is a big fight. They are being, put under pressure to really create these big events. And I think, losing AJ against Usyk to Sky has probably prompted this as well, even though that I know those talks were going on at the same time.
Okay. I know it won't be DAZN's first pay-per-view in the UK. They will have done KSI's fight by then, but it's going to be DAZN's first pay-per-view in a boxing sense, if that makes sense. So how do you think that performs, Ben v Eubank Jr. as DAZN's first pay-per-view in a boxing sense?
Really well, because they'll get Chris Eubank Sr. and Nigel Benn involved as well. I'd really love to sit down with the two guys and do a gloves are off. How amazing would that be? They went on tour with Gold Star. I'm on tour tomorrow, by the way, in Bristol with Tyson Fury with Gold Star, making a little appearance. And I'm really looking forward to seeing the crew. Haven't seen Tyson Fury for a while. I've done a couple of Zooms in, but it'd be great to catch up with him. Hopefully I'll have some news for you around that as well. Look, it'll really work. When Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. went on tour with Gold Star, it was rip-roaring. They were arguing over what sandwich they should have in the green room, first of all. But by the end of it, this 30-year rivalry, they really get on well with each other and respect each other. So the two dads will know how to play the game. They'll do a media tour. How will it do? I'm thinking 450,000 subs, maybe 5.
And what about
maybe
buys?
500,000.
I'm thinking buys.
Yeah, 500,000 buys, I'm saying. Yeah,
okay.
I think so. And if it goes on to say, yeah, why it will cross over. It's not just the hardcore boxing fans that'll love that. It's historically a great fight going back 30 years. It's the third fight between the two families. And I think it really will cross over into the mainstream, and they will sell this really well. And it does sell. I'm really excited about it.
According to the Daily Star, they said it's going to be at £156.
Yeah.
Who does that suit more?
Oh, I think it suits Chris Eubank, who I don't know how he loses the weight because he's so ripped anyway, but he's going to have to take a bit of weight off and he's going to be a little bit drained. You've got to say it suits Chris Eubank Jr. because he is the bigger man. There's no question about it. He's fought at super middleweight and held his own. Fantastic fight with George Groves. Middleweight against Billy Joe Saunders. And in my view, I think Chris Eubank Jr. will fight CONOR BENN. And if it's a brilliant fight, they'll do it again and not worry about America for now, where most of those guys are in the welterweight division. Gennady Golovkin's tied up in September, isn't he? And it wouldn't surprise me to see them do a second fight or have a second fight deal in the contract. And if not, I reckon Billy Joe's coming back. Billy Joe Saunders to face Chris Eubank by the end of the year.
Have you heard anything on Billy Joe? I know he's training with Ben Davison at the moment. Have you heard anything on a fight day?
No, nothing concrete. No, nothing concrete at the moment. No.
Be great to have him back, though.
Yeah, of course it would. Of course it would.
Just last one, Gareth. Quick Zoom today. Just off topic. Obviously, Chisora with another brutal fight in his long career over Kubrat Pulev on the weekend. A lot of people in boxing against this Wilder fight. I don't think it'll happen anyways, but yeah, a lot of sort of negativity from people in boxing in terms of caring for Derek Chisora and not wanting him to see him against Deontay Wilder. Do you share the same sentiment, Gareth?
Yeah, I do in a way. I think Deontay Wilder was a big ask. Derek put on a great performance at the weekend against Kubrat Pulev. I thought he was brilliant in the fight. I think he just shaded it. Great elusiveness from him, bobbing and weaving, avoiding a lot of punches. But he is getting older. He's approaching 40. I think Deontay Wilder was a big ask, but he called for him. He wants the big names. But I think it'd be better to fight Dillian Whyte for a third time. I think that's a better fight. But the thing is with Derek, he's so hard. He's so tough. And he's so admirable. It's not up to us to decide when people should stop. It's up to Derek. And if he still feels he's got it in the tank and he wants to earn more money and look after his daughters and all that kind of stuff, then that's up to him. But Deontay Wilder's a tough ask.
Well, hearing tonight anyways that Deontay Wilder will be fighting Robert Helenius before the end of the year in a comeback
and they'll
fight.
knock him out. and he'll knock him out.
Okay, on that note, Gareth, I'm sure I'll see you soon at a presser or something. But yeah, thought I'd just get a quick word on this Ben Eubank situation. I'm sure we'll catch up when it's officially announced. So I appreciate your time, and yeah, I'll see you soon. All right.
My pleasure, Umar. Cheers.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.